Do fairy ears and writing letters make you a real-life fairy? It does if you're willing to show kindness to someone else. Here is a touching story of how one little girl gave a forlorn stranger a new purpose as a real-life fairy. During the pandemic lockdown, Kelly Kinney felt lost. Then one day, she noticed a tiny magical fairy garden that 5-year-old Eliana Pauls made one evening with the help of her mother. Eliana, who loves fairies, made the garden in the midst of lockdown during the pandemic. The bright, outgoing little girl was lonely. All of the magic that life offers seemed to fade with the darkness of social distancing. In fact, Kelly, a photographer and designer, noticed how the magic of living life had faded too. When Kelly Kinney learned why Eliana had made the mini fairy garden, a spark ignited in her heart. And this is how Sapphire, a tiny, real-life fairy, came to live in Eliana's garden. Sapphire wrote Eliana a letter telling her how much she loved her new home in the mini garden. She also told Eliana that she would share her magic if the child did 3 acts of kindness and said nice things to 5 people. Only then would she be rewarded with magical lucky dice. Sapphire left it on the tree during her evening walk. This one moment of pretending to be Sapphire the fairy sparked months of magic between both Eliana and Kelly. Kelly realized she wasn't the only one who was lonely and in need of something good happening in her life. Doing this every night gave me purpose in a horribly painful and lonely time. I looked forward to my days again, and I started ordering art supplies and little trinkets to leave her, Kelly said. We wrote back and forth throughout the last 9 months, helping each other feel less lonely. As the pen-pal friendship grew, Kelly decided to take it one step further when she learned how Sapphire was exactly the kind of emotional support Eliana needed to get through the pandemic. Kelly decided to meet Eliana in person as the real-life fairy Sapphire. Donning fairy gear like wings and fairy ears, Kelly dressed up as a fairy and met Eliana in person. It was a moment of magic created by kindness. When they met, Eliana was more than overjoyed to see a real-life version of the fairy Sapphire. The special bond between these two shows how light can overcome darkness. And when their story went viral, it touched so many hearts, including that of the talk show host Oprah Winfrey. At the end of the pandemic, she sent Kelly Kinney along with Eliana and her family to Disney so the pair could meet Tinkerbell. What an incredible story of thoughtfulness, creativity, and being selfless in order to create a world of magic sprinkled with the fairy dust of kindness. And it all started with one little letter.
The world is filled with stories going viral every single day. But how many of these sites can you actually follow? We understand that your day should start with positive stories, stories that resonate with you. And so we started JoJo Stories. Our mission is to create meaningful stories that cover everything from animals to anthropology, history to environment and lifestyle. The kind of content you read on our site will be one you'll want to share with your family and friends. We hope you'll join our growing family and be part of our community. Welcome to JoJo Stories, jojostories.com.